So Ideal's involvement with people with dementia has been phenomenal. So many organisations just don't come close. It is a co-production all the time, and you feel very valued. It is Ideal. They give us involvement at every stage. Firstly, I participated as part of the study. That was very friendly. They made sure of the little things to ensure it was easy to participate. Things like they checked beforehand that I was still happy to do it, and they checked with my wife that she was happy to do it also. This was done every time that the interviews were carried out. This enabled us to be comfortable and relaxed on every visit. So, we didn't just plough into it, it felt genuine. It felt like a worthwhile project to help create a much greater understanding around the experience of living with dementia, to help people cope with their future, and to help me as well. They have dug deep. Subsequently, I haven't come across anything, any kind of research that comes anywhere near it. When I got involved in the Always group and the Living with Dementia Toolkit, I wanted to take it further. I wanted to tell people to do things for themselves and how they could achieve a better life. It is really important that we create resources that are alive, easily accessible, relatable, enjoyable, education, and leap off the page for the person using them. This was achieved in spades. Not boring or a challenge to plough through, but so good that the person using it wants to come back time and time again. Our work is always a laugh. It's an opportunity to have a good chuckle, which allows us to be slightly off the wall in what we say. That's according to Jane, apparently. It's very fulfilling from that point of view. The whole thing is just so proactive to get the best out of the people taking part. In this Ideal book, it's not just academics giving their opinion, but it's the living lab rats that are doing it so as well. We pull things apart, strip the meat off it, and then we put the meat back on. I've enjoyed hearing other people's opinions. You get variety, we have fun, and I feel my views are listened to and taken on board. Ideal gives you hope eternal that changes are taking place and that they will take place. On the back of what we've learned, we're going to make sure that change takes place. Over to you.
Hi, I'm Jacqui. I got involved in the Always group because it's a group where we make things happen. The group always gels from the very beginning. Everybody always understands each other and where they are coming from, whether they be carers or not. We just seem to slot in, and it's so easy to work together. Many people don't understand dementia, they just don't get it or want to get it. So for me, to be in a group of people who get it is so wonderful. It makes me feel that it's not just me, I'm accepted in the group, even though I feel certain things. And the carers in the group also understand very well how I feel. Before the meetings, I'm so excited. It's something to look forward to and be connected to. I'm not connected much to other people. Connection is a huge thing to me, and I get it here with this group and with Ideal. I've always been able to say what I feel. I've been called difficult over the years, but when I express my opinions in this group, people respect them, and that is a huge thing for me. Turn over the page. I feel very proud to see the work we've done together, and I also feel very connected and included. If I feel like that when we're working on it, it has to extend further to the people who are using our resources, such as the Living with Dementia Toolkit. I feel brilliant after our meetings, a bit tired, but a satisfied tiredness. The way this group works, it has brought me to a stage where I am choosy about what I get involved in. I wanted to be involved in everything at first, but I don't need that. I want to be in groups that make me feel happy. Thank you.
Okay. So my experience with dementia began with my late mum, Ella, when she received her diagnosis in 2007. So mum had always had a really positive outlook, and I was incredibly lucky that she mostly retained this. Inevitably, she started losing large parts of herself, and we did have some really tough times. But she wanted to continue enjoying her life and to stay independent as long as possible, and I have some incredible memories of those days. I did sometimes struggle to cope with my caring role, balancing mum's needs and my own. A real breakthrough came for me when I found out about the Alzheimer Society Research Network, and actually I think it was James Pickett, who's here, came to a meeting locally and told me about it, and I was there, joined up almost immediately. Getting involved with the network enabled me to feel that I was taking back some sort of control of my life. I learned a lot about dementia, and I also had the hope that we could be part of making a difference in the future. I was offered the opportunity to join the Always group just after I lost mum. I'd also just started on working on the Dementia Friendly Communities project locally in Hampshire where I live. So research aimed at understanding how people can live well with dementia was of great interest. I had no idea back then just how incredible this experience would be. Of course, it's been great working with the wonderful researchers in the project and contributing to its output. But this project's been about so much more. Initially, our activities with the Always group were fairly typically PPI, but we did quickly start to form a special bond within the group. The membership of the group has changed a little over the years, but it's always retained a special and fairly unique feeling of belonging and trust. The respect we have for each other and the confidence to speak honestly meant we really came to understand each other's viewpoints, especially the differences between the experience of having dementia and that of caring for someone who does. We've also had the trust to open ourselves up to wonderful new experiences, and you've seen some of those with the opera, the play, now the book. These opportunities were completely unexpected, and I've loved them. And the laughter they've brought, but most of all, I've valued working on them with my really great friends, the Always group. Thanks, guys.
So these are some final reflections from another 3 members of the Always group. I'm just going to try and facilitate a little order, but they'll take it away. So just to begin, could you each introduce who you are and how you've been involved in the Always group? Julia.
Okay, I've been a member of the Always group since its inception in 2014, and like everyone else has said, the longevity of it has been marvellous. My first encounter with dementia was with my mother, who we didn't know she had dementia, and she didn't know she had dementia, and after all was over, after she died with dementia, I needed to learn something, and straight away, because I felt so ignorant, and that was the first person I had met with dementia, actually. It was about 20 years ago. So I became involved with the Alzheimer Society, initially helping out in a memory cafe as a lead volunteer, and then joining the research network, which I really liked. When, through the Alzheimer Society, we had our first meeting, and I was the one who coined the Always, which is, and I always have to check it myself, action on living well, asking you. And I think that really, because that's what the project sounded like to us, that it was the people with dementia and their carers who were going to answer the questions. And all of us did and still do really want to improve life with dementia, because we've all experienced in some way or other. I just really want to summarise can I summarise my memorable actions with Ideal as a member of Always. Particularly, the involvement and the co-creation started really quite near the beginning. I remember the meeting in which the initial ideas for the Life More Ordinary came up. It was a very rainy day near the Imperial War Museum, and we had a little meeting with Ian, the photographer there, and that went from one strength to strength. I've always enjoyed being creative and being involved in creative things, and I think that actually spells the whole thing about the group, and the Ideal project generally. Then we had the chance for co-presenting. Keith and I co-presented the end of Ideal 1 at the Friends Place in Euston. That was very interesting as well, and a challenge. I like learning and I like challenges, and everything in life is, particularly perhaps this. I also was involved in the casting of the play, The World Turned Upside Down. I had been a drama teacher in the way in the past, and that was really interesting, being part of the team. And as was said in that last group, the effect of these co-productions has been magnificent. It's really spread out to the people who were there. We were there at the play and later at the film, and to see young people and people working in health services was just really marvellous, spreading the message. The toolkit was also exciting. People have talked about that, but that was good fun. It has been said already. We had such honest and frank discussions, and as I think it was Alison said on the video, that you could say anything you wanted, and you didn't prepare what you were going to say first. It came out of the discussion, it came out of the topic. Everything was genuine. The forthcoming book also has been interesting. Jacqui and I have been involved in doing a cover for our book, long distance, but it worked. And Jacqui's very artistic, and when you see the book, you'll really love it. And so the shape and the content of these permanent products, for me, have been marvellous, because most things I do in life anyway are fairly ephemeral. And to see something, it's a bit like if you were building a bridge or something. To see an actual real thing that's going to last was really good. I'm very proud of that our lived experience and my lived experience is acknowledged by Ideal as a valuable part of communicating the findings. And it's been a time of learning and a time of pleasure for me. I've learned so much. I've built up my knowledge and understanding of dementia and research, because I'm not a researcher by trade. And I've been also inspired. I think I said this morning, how did I feel? I said inspiring. I'd forgotten that, inspired. I feel completely inspired by the whole project and by the future of dementia research. Although I still want to say action. That's in our group's name, Action.
Thank you, Julia. Monica?
I'm Monica, and I live in a village on the Hampshire-Surrey border. I have been a research network volunteer with the Alzheimer Society for at least 10 years, I think. Along with many other such volunteers, I read lay proposals of potential researchers hoping to find out the cause, cure, or care for people with dementia. For successful applicants, 3 monitors or so or more are requested to make sure the project is followed and results provided. This is how I became involved at the very start of the Living Well research project. I joined the Ideal group as an ex-carer. Over the years, there has been a good bond between the 2 researchers we meet with on Zoom and on a regular basis during COVID. There are 4 people with dementia, 4 ex-carers. We listen and we all learn from each other, especially that no 2 people are the same, and we have a laugh at times. We met with the Deep group in Manchester in person and interacted on Zoom with students in Exeter and answered questions from our experience and other great connections. My aunt, who I had to repatriate from Cyprus, had dementia some 30 years ago. That was when I started to find out more. Then there was very little support or talk about the subject. Diagnosis can still be difficult to get, but there is more on the news media, and the Living Well project is available to everyone to help and support. I run a coffee morning in our village once a month. Up to 40 people attend, plus a monthly Sing for Fun group. In both groups we have folk with dementia, all very different in character, male and female. I talk with them and their carers to find out the local up-to-date help and support available. For all the people I know who have had or on the journey, plus the fantastic researchers, especially Rachel and Kathy, it is a privilege to share my experience and to learn more. Hopefully, research one day may unlock the cure for dementia.
Hello everyone, my name is Keith Oliver, and for the last 13 years I've attempted to live as well as possible with dementia, and today hopefully I am able to show that I don't look like I've got dementia because of what I've heard today and what I've shared with people today, and with this script hopefully I won't sound like I've got dementia also. I've been part of this project since the beginning. I see the Ideal project itself and the Always group as entwined together, but with an element of separation as well. Ideal has been far more than the Always group, but the Always group has always been a significant part of it. Ideal gave me insight into how researchers were going to formulate the questions to ask other people with dementia. I'd never had the privilege of working with researchers in this way before. It was a learning experience which I enjoyed. To see the project grow and emerge in the way it did was immensely satisfying, rewarding and interesting. All of the opportunities that I've been given to speak alongside eminent academics and professionals has been great for my self-confidence and self-esteem, things which are often robbed from us with the diagnosis and what follows. I've never felt on the periphery of it. I've always felt part of a team. It's partly them, it's partly me, and partly the subject matter. They wanted to engage in the way that they have. They had a commitment to enabling me, and people like me, to share the space with them. There's been a definite sense of sharing and a definite sense of equality within the project. This is often rare. Mutual respect and clear communication has always been the centre of our collaboration. There's been a lot of opportunity and constructive, creative challenges. The masterclass, the film, the opera, the play, the launch of the Living with Dementia Toolkit, speaking at conferences about Ideal, from London to Exeter, from Swansea to Chicago. Ideal got me into America. I'd done a thesis as an undergraduate on American history and had never wanted to go until Ideal took me. It has been an enormous part of my life for over 9 years. I always feel part of Ideal. It has been kept alive in my mind because of the frequency of our meetings. I've backed off from some other projects because they haven't been able to do that, and I don't get the sense of co-creating ownership. Ideal is quite unique in what it set out to achieve. Ideal provides the evidence to help people to live as well as possible with dementia and to show with support and opportunity it can be achieved. When I got involved, I didn't know where it was going to lead. The academics and all of those involved were learning together. This was an important ingredient in a successful research project. We could work it out together. In Ideal and Always, there's always been continuity, but also renewal and replacement. We have grown and learned together. The book which you've heard about today, which is being written, is part of our legacy. We want this project to have made a difference to the lives of people with dementia and family carers. It's not just what we found out, but how it will be used for the benefit of those affected today and tomorrow. And just to close before I hand the microphone back to Rachel, I want to express some thank yous. First of all, to the research team, so ably led by Linda. Thank you to Nada and Rachel for supporting the Always Group. To my friends on the Always Group, and to the participants who are an important part of this project but may not be here with us today. To the funders for their faith and confidence which enabled the project to happen, and me today to not look like I have dementia.